The world's about to end. I'm not talking about some silly religious apocalypse. I'm an atheist. I'm talking about the self-destruction of mankind, complete societal collapse. My name isn't important for now, but you may call me Nicodemus. There is no more time for debate about this eventuality, and I belong to a group of people who are now preparing. This video is not an attempt to lay out an in-depth explanation of our views. However, I will tell you up front that we are overwhelmingly atheist, and as such we want nothing to do with your religious beliefs. If you still cling to any, that is your business, but keep it to yourself. We're not Christians or Jews or Muslims. We harbor no ill will towards people who have faith. However, we do abhor the death and destruction these religions have wrought upon the world, and we want nothing to do with your personal superstitions. If you cannot keep beliefs like these confined to the privacy of your own home, or if your religious beliefs require you to deny or ignore scientific and mathematical facts, please go away. It goes without saying that if you believe that it is your spiritual calling to spread your beliefs and convert others to your nonsensical worldview, you may also leave now. This is not for you. We're not celebrating the coming disaster. We wish it could be avoided. It's due to the ignorance of the human population that our civilization is on the verge of catastrophic failure. Blind faith and stubborn denial of the warning signs have brought us here. The public has failed to grasp the pertinent scientific and mathematical principles. We have written our own doom. My group does not celebrate the coming destruction, but we do not shy away from it either. We welcome this opportunity to reform the world closer to the way it should be, in fact, the way it should have always been. This message is meant for the already enlightened, the smart, logical, non-religious, or at least the open-minded, who have been biding their time in the shadows of society, watching in dumbfounded awe as this horrible slow-motion train wreck called humanity begins to tear itself and the natural world apart at the seams. This message is also meant for those truly intelligent and open-minded persons who simply haven't realized where the world is currently headed. Do not worry. Our time will soon be at hand. The contaminated worldview, the status quo, the universal complacency of our population has destroyed not only our society, but has corrupted the planet itself. Moronic and archaic teachings like man having dominion over the beasts of the field, or the American manifest destiny, have been utilized by these vacuous fundamentalists to sow discord between us, turn us on one another, and justify the centuries-long violent rape of Mother Nature. The religious zealots and blind sheep have had their time in the sun. It is time we transcended our animalistic ignorance, our prejudices, violence, and hatred. It's time we learn to live with the world we live on, and within the limits of the glorious natural world surrounding us. This is not a call to arms or to any course of immediate action. Such things are not effective anymore and hopefully will never be necessary again in the future. This is a call to wait, to prepare, to organize, and specifically for you, the caring, intelligent, and skilled, to join us. Let me present my reasoning. I'm not here to try and convince you of anything. I assume my audience to be able to think both for themselves and outside the box. As such, I will present some evidence to support our claims, but I will not spend an exorbitant amount of time trying to persuade you. If the ideas in this video are compelling but not convincing to you, then please go do your own research. Come to your own conclusion. Take your time. Yes, we still have some of that time. Just a little, but enough, I believe. After the initial presentation, I will lay out the plan itself and describe how you can be involved personally. So let's begin. As I said, our world is about to come to an end. I'm not being melodramatic or exaggerating. Notice I said our world, not the world. The physical Earth will continue just fine. Perhaps a bit warmer in the long run, but I'll get to that in a minute. Our world, meaning our society and culture, are about to come to an abrupt, planet-wide halt. Before I continue, please pause this video and take the time to watch, in order, the videos and articles to which I have linked in the description section of this video. Educate yourself on the current condition of our worldwide oil dependency. While watching, please keep in mind that the videos were made way back in the year 2000, and compare some of the mathematical predictions from those videos to the data from the more recent linked articles after watching. Go ahead and pause the video now. I'll wait. Now, first of all, if you did not take the time necessary to watch and read all the material that I've provided and to think and comprehend it, and you don't intend to do so, or if you're simply unable to appreciate the consequences of what you just saw, then at this point I wish you a happy rest of your life in the time that you have left. You are either incapable of following the simplest of instructions, or your mind is vacant. Either way, you will not understand the references throughout the rest of this video, and there will be no room for you when the time arrives for us to come together. As for the rest of you, thanks, and let's move on. Since you comprehend the situation, 3 fairly obvious things should have occurred to you by now. If not, let me help you along. The first thing is this: whether or not you believe in global warming, whether you think it's man-made or not, it does not matter anymore, or at least the argument is moot. I and many of the members of my group believe that it is both real and man-made, or at least man-enhanced. But it's a red herring, a time-consuming distraction at this point. Even if the United States were to somehow drop its fossil fuel usage to 0 today, the rest of the world, China, India, and other developing nations, would not. They would simply pick up the slack, redouble their efforts to fuel their own industrial revolutions. After all, in their minds, we had ours. Why can't they have theirs? It's only fair, after all. So what does this mean? It means that every drop of economically recoverable oil on the planet will be utilized. All of the damage which could ever be done to the biosphere by fossil fuels will, at this point, be done. There is no stopping it now, and we are wasting our time fighting the inevitable when there is work to do. Climate change does not matter anymore, because at this point it will be what it will be. We will see the far-reaching effects of this 100-year gang rape of planet Earth in due time, but the vast majority of humans alive today will not be around to see it. Now, this is not because it will happen in some distant future. It won't. You and I will likely be alive to see the first real effects of global warming, and our children certainly will be. This is because of the second thing, which should have occurred to you by now. The second thing is overpopulation. It's not an issue anymore. No, I'm not talking about the widespread destruction and currently unfolding nuclear disaster in Japan, which I suppose gives you a time frame for the recording of this video. Disasters like that, though regionally terrible, are absolutely infinitesimal compared to the coming disaster. So what am I talking about then? Why is overpopulation no longer a problem? A very simple reason: because plastic is oil. I don't mean that in some sort of roundabout, intellectually dishonest sense either. I mean plastic is literally nothing but solidified oil. With that in mind, look around you, carefully and with a critical eye. Almost everything you see is physically made of or depends on oil. The chair you're sitting in likely has a seat cushion made from polystyrene foam, a seat cover made of polyester or small plastic fibers. The chair itself is likely made of plastic. The computer and monitor you're viewing this on are mostly plastic, and their inner components require oil to manufacture. The majority of the components of your house itself, the paint, oil-based, the floors, Do you have linoleum or vinyl or perhaps carpet? All nothing but solid oil. Almost everything in your life is made of it directly, transported by it, or dependent on it to function. Your car doesn't just burn gasoline. Its engine and crankcase is filled with oil, which needs to be changed every 3 months during its usable life. The tires are oil. What, you thought it was actually natural rubber? Not a chance unless you're driving a Rolls Royce or something else equally expensive. That's plastic with softening agents in it. The interior of your car, the dashboard, steering wheel, seats and console, and even the exterior of new cars, all plastic, all oil. You live in a life literally surrounded, cloaked and bathed in it. You eat from it, sleep on it, see through it if you wear glasses, and rub it on your skin in the form of soaps, shampoos, and conditioners as you take a shower. None of these things will be possible to make in their current form once the oil is gone. Farming and agriculture will become impossible on the scale we have them today. Farm equipment runs on and is made of oil. The component ingredients of fertilizer itself are mostly petroleum products and derivatives. Without these things, worldwide food production will plummet, widespread famine and disease will result. But long before any of that happens, the oil thirst of nations worldwide will likely ignite World War III. Probably a nuclear exchange, which will originate in either China or the Middle East and will rage across the globe. As I said, overpopulation is no longer an issue. These are not distant future events. You've seen the videos provided and read the articles and reports with a critical mind, I hope. As you've seen, we've already reached or are about to reach the downslope of the Hubbard bell curve for worldwide production of both oil and coal. Let that sink in. What does that mean? It means that the collapse has already begun. Oil and coal production worldwide have or are about to peak for good. For good. We will never again produce as much of either of those resources on a yearly basis as we do now, or as much as we did 4 years ago in 2007. It is likely that not only the U.S. economy, but the world economy will never recover back to 2007 levels. If they do, it will simply be a temporary bubble, an artificial last stand that cannot last long. Gas will never get cheaper again for any real length of time. At the time of making this video, we experience a maybe temporary extra spike in price due to the unrest in the Middle East, but the point is the upward trend will continue. There will be no downward price trends in the future. The price of food will continue to go up at an alarming rate. The price of real estate will never truly recover. We're not talking on a 6-month or even a year time frame. If you see some prices go down temporarily and based on that information begin to doubt the validity of what I'm saying, then you're an absolute fool. Go turn on faux news or something. This information isn't for you. The ever-increasing price of oil and coal, which affects the prices of everything in our lives, from the gas we buy to the food we eat, will prevent any long-term substantive recovery. It's all downhill from here. But consider yourself lucky. You are alive at an amazing point in history, the pinnacle of human civilization. Widespread relative prosperity, the internet, space travel, aviation, instant communication, GPS, cell phones, the ability to eat virtually anything from any part of the planet whenever you want. None of these things will exist in their current state in the future. The future will be all about conservation and using our resources wisely. It'll have to be. Like little children, we ate all the chocolate as fast as we could, and guess what? Mommy Nature isn't making any more for a very,